boy Big Rob back at my house. It is Sunday. It is Rant and Ramble. It is my favorite day of the week. Get to hang out with all my favorite people and talk very little crypto and a bunch of nonsense. That's what we do. But with that said, excited for today's show. Got a lot on the docket. Pepe is the talk of the town. Nobody will shut up about it. Is it the truth? Is it a lie? We'll go into that in a little bit. If you're not familiar with our section or segment here, this is more of a Q&A and a free talk, an open discussion, personal growth, and of course we do talk some crypto. It's a growing topic here, but here we just want to get to know each other. We want to vibe out, play a little bit of music. It's a good time. We relax on a Sunday, talk about what we want to get done for next week, goals, and maybe we can motivate each other to do something outside of our norm. Maybe encourage one another to make a little more out of ourselves, make a little bit more in our portfolio. So that's what we do here. And of course, if you're new, we do have a live show where we film in our studio Monday through Friday. And with that, I have a co-host, David. We also have a producer, Rocco. And so we have our team there and pretty well polished together. Unlike this show where everything is just kind of randomly thrown together. Well, this is what you get with Big Rob. And well, David, he is the guy that kind of glues everything together, and I'm just the confetti, you know? You throw it everywhere, but everybody loves confetti, right? When you throw confetti, that's time for celebration. Now, I do want to give you my thoughts on Pepe, because I've been doing some soul searching on this thing. And everyone's talking about it, so you're gonna get my lowdown on what I think about Pepe, what I think about our space right now, what I think about the crypto future, and yeah, so. But without further ado, I do want to also give a little bit of a shout. I want to get a little bit of a shout out to the chat here, and say what up to all my homies. And so, let's see who we got. All right, so we got Crypto Hands up in here, Talladega Fitness. We got Remedial Joe. We got Pong, Ivan, Satoshi Nakamoto, News Crypto, Pakasad, Sandeep, Mand, Bongaray, Clarity Trades, Destroyer up in here, my homie. Also, David, my co-host, is here, of course. What's up, brother? Dixie, Keno, Timmy, B-Team, Double D, Andre Brown, Willow, Dennis Knowledge, Crypto Needs Red Bull, Medinas, and John with no H. So to all of you that are new, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Get this thing cranked up. Let's get this thing going. I'm amped up. All right. Like I said, he leads this off, right? And so today we are going to. We also got Glory Hole over here. What's up? Jonathan Morris as well. Another fellow John, he says. And Jesus Sard Gonzalez. He drops a hola with an H. This is a Portuguesa hola. No H. Appreciate it. So, without further ado, I am going to get the chat going here. Does chat thing work? Well, I don't seem to have the little chat thingy. Oh, there it is. There it is. So, Pakistan says, keep getting prostate. Ever type. Thank you. Appreciate that. Also, if you got any questions, you got some comments, there's something you want to know about Big Rob, me personally, or our personal team, what's going on here in Las Vegas, what the vibe is, put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Remember, this is more of an open discussion with the community, almost like a Q&A. I would say it's a Q&A, but most Q&As is just talking about tokens. This is more of an open conversation. Timmy313, he says, we love you, Big Rob 100. Love you too, guys. Also, we got Cree Kong as well, dropping the turbo up in here. And then also, before we get started, we want to give a big shout out to the guitar playing Gato. You gotta love this. If this isn't the greatest meme ever created, I don't know what is. It's amazing. If you don't love a guitar playing Gato, something wrong with you. Now, Barbic07 says, what's your thoughts on Gallup? Well, I'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, I want to get into the charts. I don't do TA. Well, actually, I don't do TA professionally. So sometimes I do look at the charts. So it can be kind of comical because I will, do my TA, which is I like to find familiar shapes. It's almost like me looking into the clouds. I'm like, oh, I see a doggy. The same thing. I look at the charts and I'm like, well, there we got an EKG machine. We just had a heart attack. We're flatlining and rug pull. And that's pretty much my TA. So let's take a quick look here. All right. Got Bitcoin coming in at 29,000 and flat. $29,003.19. So I'll take a look at where we've been at for the day. Not too much movement on the 24 hours. Taking a look at the weekly, you can see that we had tested this 30K range a couple times. And then going into the 1 month, you can see that we've been trading in this range here for quite some time. This is very, very reminiscent of all the channels that we've had before this. So let's take a look back at the year to date. The year to date. So you can see this is a common trend. So from the beginning of the year, and actually let's see. Yeah. So from the beginning of the year, 16,000, and we traded there. And you know what? Let's go to the 1 year, and then this way it makes a little bit more sense where we're at here. Okay, we'll start here. So back in November of last year, we hit 16,000. We traded there for approximately 2 months, right? So from November 11th to January 11th, 2 months. We traded it in between 16 and essentially almost 18,000. So about a $2,000 range. And then boom, we shot up to the $22,000 range. So from the January 14th over until, well, March 13th, we traded in between 20,000 and 23,000 essentially. So a $2,000 range. It's just pattern recognition here. You don't need to be a TA expert to figure this stuff out. Now, so that was exactly 2 months, right? Let's take a look. November 11th, January 11th. Okay. January 13th, March 13th. So let's see. We have March 17th to today is May 7th. That means we have 1 week, ladies and gentlemen. We have 1 week before we break out. And this trend continues. Why do I understand this trend continues? Because, well, there's a lot of money that wants to come into the system. People want to invest. However, they're looking for gains. And so they're pumping it into meme coins because they know that's going to pump. So next week, mark my words, next week we trade in between 26,000 or 27,000. So look at this range. It's a $2,000 range. This is textbook what has happened the last 6 months. So 27,000 to 29,000, $2,000 range. 16,000 to 18,000, $2,000 range. Here you have 22,000 to 24,000, $2,000 range. And these traded for 2 months exactly, and then pop the fuck off. Here, March, you can count it as the 15th, which would be a week from now. I mean, do you guys agree? Do you think the pattern's going to continue? I honestly, truly do. So I think next week we trade between 29 and 27. The following week, which will be Monday, not this coming Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday. That's when we take off. Markets open, stock market opens, something will happen. Boom. Launch time. Now, and then Daniel Nasson says, wow, who needs TradingView right now? So, I actually do have TradingView. I just don't use it. You know what? I'll be honest with you. A lot of lines, a lot of graphs. Not as easy to navigate here. You know, and for me, I like to pull up the broader view. And here, this does the justice. I can also pull up TradingView right here too. So, same jazz here. All right, so taking a look. So that's where I think Bitcoin's price on the macro is going to go. We are headed into the halving. Halving is less than a year away. So honestly believe the bottom is in. And I think we're just going up from there. So without further ado, let's get a little bit of music going on. As I mentioned, if you're new here, let me know so that way we can say what up to you. Drop an hola. Let's get this chat going first. If you know what's up here, drop the hola in the chat so that way we can show the people that are new what time it is, because that's what we do. So I'm gonna lead the first hola. We got 93 people in here. See if we can get 90 holas in here. All right. Daniel says, all good, just busting chops. That's what's up. All right, now taking a look at the broader markets, or the broader crypto markets, you got Ethereum coming in at $1,919, just shy of that $2,000 mark. Also, XRP at a flat 45 cents. Cardano, 38 cents. I think this is a pretty good pickup right now. Oh, excuse me, the Cardano. So I think this is going to be one of the best performing top 10 assets. I think when you look at the top 10 right here, and you guys can screenshot this, record it, write it down, put it on a sticky pad note. You see these top 10 projects here, Bitcoin to Solana. I think the biggest returns on investment in this top 10 category will be Solana. Excuse me, Cardano. So it wouldn't surprise me. I think the one that's going to be the most disappointing is going to be Polygon. And I can explain why. I don't think that anything's wrong with Polygon. I just think that it already had an early pump in the bear market, and it's outperformed most of the assets. Very reminiscent to what Chainlink did in 2020. Chainlink was rallying early in the market in early 2020, 2019. Had a big pop off on Chainlink. And then once the parabolic run up came where everything was just mooning, Chainlink kind of fell behind. And so I think we might see something similar to that here with Solana, or excuse me, with Polygon. I don't know why I keep saying Solana. So with Polygon, I think that you're going to get some price movement. It's going to move in tandem with the markets, but I think it's going to be outpaced by other projects, particularly the layer ones, Cardano, Solana. Now, remember, when Polygon had its rise to fame last bull market, it was really the only scalable layer 2 that was on Ethereum. And there wasn't a lot of competition. First of all, Ethereum didn't even have much competition. And it was a remedy to the gas fee problem, which also people left Ethereum's network to go to other layer ones to participate in transactions that didn't have quite as high of gas fees. So with that said, Polygon was one of the few options, one of the few resolutions. And now the market is different. Now there is a host of layer ones out there. Because at the run up of 2020, you had Binance and you had Ethereum if you wanted to participate in DeFi. And then Solana came into the race a little late, which we saw their pop off. But now smart contracts, NFTs, DeFi is available across a wide ecosystem of layer ones. So you might ask yourself, is Ethereum going to have as much dominance as it did last bull market? I don't think so. I think what we saw with Bitcoin in previous bull markets is what we'll see with Ethereum, is that it's going to move perhaps 10x. I don't remember, you get diminishing returns with Bitcoin. So where Bitcoin used to 10x, now at 8x's, 7x's. And if Bitcoin were at 10x from where it is now, it would be at, $300,000. I don't think it'll get quite that high in the next bull run. Who knows? But realistically, we're all probably aware here or know that the altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin as far as returns, X's, in the next bull market from where we are now to the height of the next bull market. And that is just the law of markets. The larger a market cap grows, the more money it takes to move it, the harder it is to double it. And that's where we're at. And so Polygon also has competition as well. And so now you have a host of layer twos and scaling solutions all vying for utility and dApps. And they're all building right now. And so I think that Polygon, although it is the number one scaling solution on Ethereum, it has a ton of corporate partnerships. I think it will grow with the rest of the market, but I think it'll grow around the same pace that Ethereum will grow, with a 5 to 10x return. And I say 5 because I think Ethereum will have a hard time breaking $10,000, and $10,000 will be a 5x. And if it breaks 10,000, wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think it's going to go any higher than $20,000. And $20,000 would be a 10x. And I put Polygon in a very similar category. Also, not to mention, Pepe has taught us something today, or this week. Pepe has taught us that there is still a gas fee problem. Transactions moving simply USDT, on the Ethereum network is costing $70. So the problems that we had in the previous bull market were people were leaving the Ethereum network to go work or to transact on other chains, hence the rise of the Binance Smart Chain to alleviate gas fees, and you could participate in DeFi. Now you have the same problem. And there seems to be no resolution to the gas fee problem in the immediate future of Ethereum's roadmap. And this should be addressed later down the road. Will it be addressed before the next bull run? That is to be seen. And even if they advertise this, I would highly doubt that the markets will, I highly doubt that they will stay on track with their roadmap, because Ethereum is known for having delays when it comes to its hard forks and its roadmap. Now, that says I'm not an Ethereum hater. I just think that it is going to grow very similar to what we would see out of Bitcoin. And if you have the DCA all day and don't care, don't want to take on risk, the smartest way going about it is Bitcoin and Ethereum. When I get questioned by people that aren't quite as savvy in the crypto markets, don't have the time to do research, they're not plugged into YouTube like you are. These people, I tell them, they always want to know, what should I buy? I want to get some crypto. What should I get? First off, I tell them, I'm like, are you looking to invest? Are you looking for a long-term future? The answer is yes. Then at that point, I say, well, I think as an alternative to a 401k, as an alternative to a retirement, as an alternative to setting money aside in a savings account for someone's, for kids' college, I think diversifying into a couple cryptocurrencies is an ideal portfolio for somebody that doesn't have the time to do the research. They don't have to understand what bridge hack came out and what exchange is delisting and what miners are getting kicked out of what country or state. Keep it simple. Just buy Bitcoin. I would recommend a 70-30 split. 70% Bitcoin, 30% on Ethereum. And if you have a 5 to 10 year time horizon, well, you can't lose with that one. Even if, God forbid, Ethereum completely just crashed and disappeared, that 70% Bitcoin would hold up the fort. And you might say to yourself, Ethereum disappeared. That's crazy. Well, hey, it already had hard forked to a point, rewound the chain, and pretty much almost got kicked out of the crypto ecosystem with Ethereum Classic in the past. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for it to happen again, although it'd be very, very, very unlikely at this point. So with that said, for the novice investor, Bitcoin Ethereum is the way to go. We are not novice investors. We are degens. And so we are looking for the gains. And we are looking for the 100x. That's what I'm looking for. I'm positioning myself to take every $1,000 I invest outside of my long-term portfolio for 100x returns. That is not delusional. That is not crazy. And that is a logical way of looking at the crypto markets if you correctly come in with the game plan. Oh, the game plan is you DCA when it's low, you DCA out when it's high. It's simple. And you gotta try to fight that internal urge to hold it because you think it's going to go higher, and just bite your arm off when you go to sell when you're not supposed to. It's tough. You got to take some lumps. You got to learn along the way to get to that point. So with that said, let's also take a look at some of the other biggest gainers on the day here. You got Render token up 6%, Stacks up 3%, Optimism up 2.75%, and Raga Pool up 3.1%. Solana, Casper, Aptos, and some of the losers. You got Floki down. See that we're shedding off on the meme coins here. Pepe, and then this is just the top 100. All the meme coins, the smaller cap ones, tend to be shedding off some gains as well. So my thoughts here. I wanted to touch upon the meme coin craze, and I just want to give you my thoughts. And my thoughts are, it is what it is. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. So this is the Pepe chart here. Roughly, we've had roughly 100x. I'll say, or we've had roughly 1,000x since it kind of hit the main markets, right? Since YouTube channels started covering it, since it was kind of a thing on Twitter, about 1,000x. So pretty damn good, right? And so if you would put $1,000 at the very first time you heard Pepe, probably would have over $1 million. Not bad, right? That's good. And it's got our industry on fire, right? And is this a good thing? Is this what we want in our space? And I think I want to push against the wave. I want to push against the movement, because nobody here is discussing what is going on in our ecosystem. And for me, I find it very discouraging that meme coins are having as much popularity as they are now, because the reason I started this channel and the reason I got into all of this is, I'm gonna put some music on. So the reason I got into all of this is because I'm very passionate about crypto. I like the technology. Not a fan of the banks. Not a fan of the savings accounts. And that said, I looked at crypto as a resolution, a savior. And now we've muddied the waters with these foolish meme coins. They have no utility, no real use case. They were built with one intention. Somebody's sitting here like, yeah, I think this thing's going to pop off. We can make a lot of money. However, it's not built with the intention of, hey, you know what? We can really do some good things here. There's a lot of companies and institutions and governments that have taken advantage of their citizens and their people, and for that reason, it's, you know, I would like we like the remedy. At least I do, and that's why I started the channel. You guys don't know that, and so me growing up, I grew up in the restaurant industry as a chef, and chefs don't really get paid a lot, and you basically live paycheck to paycheck. And if you have a family and bank accounts, you go overdraft, and hard to get any kind of good credit if you have missed any payments. And so it's very hard for someone that's living paycheck to paycheck to get by. And the people that the people that benefit the most, the people that are profiting the most, are these institutions. And they're profiting and putting all these fees and penalties on people that really can't afford it. And if you open up a checking account, they always tell you, hey, if you deposit over $10,000 or you deposit more than $2,000 or $5,000 a month, then we'll waive your $15 checking account fee. Seems kind of foolish to me, because the person that can't really afford the $15 checking account fee because they make $1,000 every 2 weeks, that person doesn't get the fee waived, even though they're the ones that need it the most. And then the person that didn't budget their checking account just right, and something came out a little earlier than they expected, well, they get punished by an overdraft fee, $30. And then if you don't take care of the overdraft fee within 4 days, you get charged another $30. So the system's rigged to squeeze the people that are struggling. And the people that are doing the squeezing are these multi-billionaires, these trillion-dollar banks. And there's no accountability for them. And if they mess up in the same way that I would mess up and take on risk or be stupid, well, they get handouts. The government just gives them money and it bails them out. With no recourse. They just do it, and then they shake their finger and they say, we won't do this again, until they do it again. And so that's where we're at. And so for me, the reason I started crypto is because I see a resolution. And so that's why I'm in this space. And this is why I do this channel. And this is why I'm talking to you guys, because hopefully you guys can convince some people as well that are maybe struggling, people that are in a financial bind, and say, hey, you know what? I have kids that live overseas, and it used to cost me a lot of money to send them birthday gifts, or, it's like some birthday cash, or just if they needed, they wanted some money, it cost me $100, technically $50. And then my kid's mom would have to spend $50 to receive it as well, and take 3 to 4 days. And so if you can just open up a few people to saving $100 by sending money internationally, that's a win for me. And so that's why I'm in this space. So this meme coin thing, it's lost on me, right? Because it moves your vision from where it needs to be to a place of greed and just trying to be smarter than the markets. And I saw someone in here mention just trade, don't worry about it, don't mirror here. Gainslord says don't date, just trade it, my boy. And I'm not saying that I'm not here to tell you that meme coins are the devil and don't touch them. Hey, man, I've purchased meme coins before. I've made money on it. I've speculated on different things. And you know what? There's a lot of other projects that aren't meme coins that we speculate on. We know they're probably not going to pop off, but we're like, you know what? It sounds like a good project. Might not last, but I'll throw some money in there. Maybe I'll get some X's out of it. So no, I'm not here to sit here and be all high and mighty and say, I only invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, I'm not saying that. I know I started off by saying Bitcoin and Ethereum for a novice investor that can't do the research, but I'm just simply saying that all I've heard on Twitter, all I've seen on YouTube, on every thumbnail, is this bullish case scenario for Pepe. And I'm just here to say that it's not all sunshine and rainbows and flowers here. That's it. I'm just saying that I don't know if it's exactly the best look for our industry. And you know what? All of this money that's piling in on this meme coins, well, that is money that is not piling in on other projects. Or that's money that is leaving quality projects going into meme coins. And the scary thing about this versus the meme coin rise of 2021 was that in 2021, you had novice investors that had no exposure to crypto investing in crypto. So we saw money entering into our ecosystem from the waitress, the mechanic, the plumber, the average everyday guy or lady that had no exposure to crypto. Were putting money in our ecosystem. And then a lot of that money poured over into other projects. And so we got exposure to crypto. But this time around, this is our savvy investors. These are our content creators. These are our traders. These are people that are just all trying to outsmart one another. And everyone here is trying to time this out perfectly. They say, you know what? I think this has got another 2X's in it. So I'm going to put in now. Or they got in early and they're like, I'm going to see how much I can ride out on this before I cash out. Nobody's investing in this because they believe in Pepe. Or they believe in Floki. Now, there is a tiny chance that one of these meme coins will do something great and have some utility, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. With that said, real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Satoshi Nakamoto. He has dropped a $2 super chat. It says, smash the likes. And of course, big shout out to my boy Satoshi. Big old super chat there. Yeah, my man. Thank you. All right. So let's anyways, I'm just not quite as excited about the meme coin thing. Really not. I'm excited about DeFi, and for me, I'm truly excited about what this is going to bring to the world in the coming years. The fact that I can sell somebody a car and do a tokenized NFT of the title of my car, and I can sell the car, and once I receive the money, the smart contract can release the title instead of having a company custody it, charge you money. Instead of the deed to your house being stuck in escrow with a title company and all of this, and they taking thousands of dollars. It's gonna be done automatically on blockchain. And if I want to take out a collateralized, or if I want to take out a loan, imagine when you go to those check cashing places where you can, there's a car title loan or whatever it is. Well, what do? You bring your title in there, right? And you leave your title at the counter, and then they give you the money, and then if you don't pay it back, they keep your car, right? Well, you could do this automatically as well. Not to say this is a good way of borrowing money, but you could tokenize your car title, and then instead of going down there and giving them your car title, you can have it tokenized on a blockchain. You could borrow on it, and if for some reason you didn't pay it back, after the parameters of the loan said, hey, this guy defaulted on the debt, and so the smart contract will automatically fulfill and transfer ownership of the title. And that's just one small example of what's to come, not to mention identifications. So your IDs, South Korea's has driver's license on the blockchain now. And, we're going to get to a day that everything is done digitally. We're starting to see it now where you do tap payments. Tap payments are going to be with identifications as well. And so instead of having a physical ID, you can just have it on your cell phone and just tap your payment. And hey, there's my ID as well. It verifies that I'm 21 years old and I can buy alcohol. So, and then LaPera says, then someone can hack your phone and your house and your car is gone. That is true, but this is the direction we're going. And, you could say the same thing when it came to bank accounts and crypto accounts. You could say, well, you could keep your money in a savings account or you could keep it on a blockchain. And then, boom, it's hacked and it's gone. But we know that over time, you can protect your assets by custodying it yourself. And you don't need to look any further than Stacks, for example. Stacks is a layer 2 blockchain that offers smart contract services on top of the Bitcoin network and leverages its security. So in theory, you could tokenize an NFT, put it on a smart contract on the Bitcoin network, secured by the Bitcoin network, and then take full ownership and put it in your hardware wallet. And then you can, eventually we'll have a situation where hardware wallets can be used where you could just apply it to a smart contract, but it never leaves your hardware wallet unless the smart contract fulfills. So there's no risk there on that side. So this is the direction we're going. It's going to be some lumps and bumps on the road, but John says you can hack a blockchain, but the computing power it would take to do so wouldn't be worth it. It depends on what blockchain. And so when it comes to Bitcoin, obviously, because of the hash rate and the size of the networks and the size of the mining network and all the nodes, Bitcoin's network is so large that it's unrealistic to get the hash rate needed to compromise the Bitcoin network. So even for right now, if you really, really wanted the security and that was a thing, if you participated in the Bitcoin network as far as keeping assets safe, need to look no further. All right, so let's take a quick intermission here, and let's take a look at the chat, see what we got going on, and if you guys are new here, say hello so I can drop an hola at you, and then put some questions or thoughts in the chat, and then I will go over those as well. So let me get some music going here as well. All right. So we got Labetta says that then polar shift and electricity's gone and then paper then. I mean, if all the electricity's gone, then you never know. Crutch says, what's up? So, and Satoshi says, unless the blockchain is meant to be. Smash the like. Banks are easier to fraud. Very true. All right. So what's going on? What do you guys have going on today? What's planned for Sunday? If you're new here and you want to know a little bit about my thoughts on Sunday, Sunday is the end of the week for me. So I evaluate what I accomplished this week, and then I get to sit down and start mapping out my next week and getting ready for Monday. A lot of people like to put their schedule together on Mondays. You're already behind a full day because you're planning the day you're supposed to be starting. And so the same way that you start to stretch and get ready for a race, you don't do that after the gunfires, right? And so I kind of have the same premise on Sundays, because Monday is the day I get going. That's when our show starts. So for me, I'm gonna sit down and evaluate what worked, what didn't. and see what I want to accomplish next week. And I always try to tackle a couple new things. Try to hold myself accountable and be honest, because a lot of people like to say, oh man, I did such a good job this week. No, you always have room for improvement. And so I never look at my week as it was a success. It was amazing and everything I wanted to get done got done. Now, let's be realist. Generally speaking, most of us here, we set out to do a bunch of things, and sometimes we're just lazy and we don't set out to do much of anything. And so for me, on my Sundays, I like to get things done and evaluate how I got things done. All right, so let's see. Crook says every morning he writes out his daily tasks. So that's good. I don't do so much. Well, I don't do so much of a daily, but whatever works for you guys. I do it per week. He said, how did your numbers do after BitBoy week? So we had a little pop off. We've been pretty solid on our numbers as far as viewership, and we've been right around on our live shows, generally 100 to 300 viewers, and then on after the fact, been 1,000 to 2,000, and so we're pretty consistent right around there. We gained a few hundred subscribers. We share a lot of the same community as BitBoy, so it wasn't like we were introduced into a brand new audience that never had seen us before. But I will say this, we do have some big partnerships and some big collaborations coming up in the near term. And so our channel will likely get some exposure to some new audience that might not be familiar with us. So we're really excited about that. And actually, I'll give you a little teaser. Tomorrow, we actually have George from Cryptos R Us joining us on our show. So if you're a fan of George, we're all George, come make sure you come check us out tomorrow. We've also been in talks with some other pretty big channels, some of the biggest guys in the space, for getting some exposure there. And we're working with some cool projects. So, we're very excited. And if you have been aware, I haven't been at the studio for the last month or so, and that's because I've been out kind of promoting our brand. I've been on almost a tour, and so I've been talking to industry professionals and out at conventions at Consensus, and I'll be at Bitcoin Miami next week. And with that, I saw a comment there, it's pretty funny, but yeah, so we'll be out at Bitcoin Miami, and I'm excited for that as well. And there I'm going to be going to some meetups and just people I have deals with. So Jessica says, I love George. We're all George. Daniel says we're great. He says you guys will go up in a parabolic run up. And as I mentioned, I hope so. I hope we do all go up in this next bull market. I'm assuming we do. I think we got a pretty good product here. I think that we bring a good insight and our own opinions. I don't think we've been swayed or bought out by advertisers and projects. So for that, I think, we offer product that other people just don't have. A dynamic of two people that share different opinions, that stand on different sides of the line, and don't have any issue debating and arguing and putting out, their side of why they think one thing is good for our space or bad. And I'm sure if David was here, he'd say, hey man, this Pepe thing is good. Me, I think it's bad. So I did, Dee here says, did you shave your cat? This was something I said I was going to do about a month ago, and I have not shaved my cat yet. I need to. I do put some things off. He just doesn't like it. But he's got so much hair. I even had to change this shirt here right before I did. I had to put a new shirt on because I had so much cat hair. And so, all right, so let's take a quick look here. We got Oods says, will BTC break high tonight? Like I said, I think it's going to be right in the same range. If you're watching the beginning, I think it'll be in the same range that we were when we same range we were in the last couple weeks. I think next week we trade. We got the breakout, not this Monday, next Monday. So that's my call there. And then let's see what else y'all got. GT says Larry's still in the biting mood. No, Larry's good. And then Clarity says Cincinnati needs a lady on the show. Yeah, we'd love to have a lady on the show. So with us, you know, we don't. So it's just 3 of us, right? It's me, Rocco, and David. And we have the lease on our studio. We have a lot of gear. We have thousands of dollars worth of subscriptions between TradingView and all of these video editing softwares and our streaming softwares. And anyways, we run up a pretty high tab on operating this business. And with that said, we can't afford to pay anybody. And so me, Rocco, and David just simply do this out of just grind, you know. And we make a little bit of money on super chats and YouTube ad revenue, just enough to cover the bills, but we don't have enough money to pay anybody. So it's hard for us to incentivize somebody to join us without any financial returns in the short term. And in the past, what we've done is we've said, hey, you know, when we start making money, we could pay you and you'll be in a good position to grow with us. You just got to stick it out now, and almost like a intern kind of characteristic. And so for that reason, it's not, and especially if they're not going to own part of it and it's just like a promise to pay you, it's not really that incentivizing. So right now I don't have any ladies in my space that live in Las Vegas that I could personally invite to the studio that would hang out with us. So only the people that we meet in our industry. But I feel confident that when we grow, we definitely will get some ladies on the show. I would love to bring some ladies onto the Sin City Studios team, but they need to be paid. And that's the only way that we're going to get new people on here. And that's whether it's lady or guy, doesn't matter. You know, as our team grows, we got to pay people. And so that'll come in due time. Now, what else we got? George suggested some crazy stuff to noobs. After I hear this, I only listen to those that develops thoughts. And 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, I'm getting over this cold here, so give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we got Lazarus says Crypto Casey would be a great guest. She is good. Yeah, I don't know if we've reached out to her yet. You know, we do have someone that does our bookings, so I will reach out to him and see if he has reached out to her. If not, probably should. And then Dog woke up. What's up, my boy Honey? My girl Honey, what up, dog? Yeah, that's Honey. And then we got Larry cheaping in the background as well. And then Paka said no need to be woke. Have a lady if she adds value. Eye candy good, but your setup is fine. Yeah, you know, I look at it this way. I think if you're trying to force something, I think it doesn't work out right. And you know, there's a lot of examples where, you know, companies try to force diversity And I think that the talent pool is diverse enough that if you were to hire 10 people, there's enough ladies in our space that you should, when you get to 10 people on your staff, should mathematically have a couple ladies that work with you, right? But I don't think that you say, hey, I need a TA person. She must be a woman. Like, I think that's the wrong way of going about it. I would just say that, hey, we need to interview, a multitude of candidates. Let's not get our own personal biases or blinders on. And let's make sure that we interview some minorities, some ladies. And I think then you pick out the most, the best candidate for the position, regardless of who they are. And if you repeat these steps over and over again with every position that you fill, naturally you're going to have diversity. It's just, it has to go that way. And so, yeah. Bye. That's my wife going to work. And so, yeah, and so I don't think that you should try to force it. And then I think it kind of makes it a bad look too. Because if somebody gets hired because, hey, we needed more ladies on our team, so we hired this woman to do TA, I think people might not take her seriously. They might say, well, she only got the job because, well, just hire appropriately, interview diverse candidates, and then go from there. So that's how I stand on it. And I think this whole woke movement where, hey, everything you have to have one trans person and one gay person and one female and one black person and one Asian, I guess that's the wrong way of setting it up. And I think you should just keep an open mind and not judge people, and then just diversify in your interviews. That's my personal way of looking at it. Now, what else we got? We got Crypto Press says girl power, and said you should have stolen the Mila Kunis looking woman for BitBoy channel. She's super cool, man. A little sweetheart. George or the J says slim pickings these days. If you're not married, good luck to you. And then what else we got? Crypto Press says hope you feel better. Are you doing a meetup in Miami? I'm just going there by myself. So if you're gonna be in Miami, by all means, let me know. I would love to meet up with you. I am gonna be doing some meetups with other people, and so I will be at other people's meetups and after parties and things like that. And so I can also get you into some exclusive events as well if you want to come hang out. So make sure you DM us on Twitter if you're going to be in Miami. And that is Sin City Crypto 1 is our handle on Twitter. It's also in the description of the channel as well. And then we got, what about Crypto Granny? I don't know who Crypto Granny is. He says, thinking about moving on to Las Vegas. What is the capital gains tax in Las Vegas? Capital gains tax is federal, and there's no state tax. So one of the handful of states out there that doesn't have state tax. So it's cheaper to live here. Not to mention in Las Vegas, not a ton of traffic. House prices have gone down recently. It was a pretty hot market before, but you can get a house for, $200,000, $300,000. Really nice house. Something that would cost Californians well over $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. So not the cheapest housing market, but groceries are cheap, taxes are cheap, gas is cheap. So for that reason, I like it out here. And then let's see what else we got. Do you have Oye for water in Vegas? What is Oye? I'm not sure. I'm missing something. And then let's see what else we got. We got a super chat. So News Crypto says, keep up the hustle. Appreciate the stream today and nice BG music. So big shout out to News Crypto. Also, let's get this super chat count. 550 connect. All right. And so let's see here. What else we got? Matt Seeds says, at a bunch of people's handles, driving and listening. Juan Luis says, hola. What are property taxes like? Kind of normal. I don't know. Nothing out of the ordinary. Any thoughts on Squid Grow? Sounds like a meme coin or highly speculative. So not on my radar. I'll just leave it at that. Not George. 50K INC. And then job hires should be done on merit and qualifications alone. Yeah. And we got, see the categories, the vote box, ticking person can get in. He said, I'm looking to relocate from Boise. The essential characteristics of money is that it offers a use case independent appraisal. Although BTC can serve medium in exchange, it cannot serve as sound money. Okay. What else do we got going on in here? He says you have to pay for water as Las Vegans. No, they just don't want you watering your lawn too many times a week. So we have like a watering schedule. So you can get fined if you water your plants or yard at a certain time of the day. And if you have grass, they'll pay for you to remove your grass and they'll put in a rock garden with like cactuses. And so they try to incentivize you not to grow grass out here because it takes a ton of water. But there's nothing outside of, it's just like a normal city when it comes to water. They just ask that you have your watering days. So in the winter, you water like 2 days a week. And then in the summer, you water every day but Sunday. And so there's like no watering Sundays. So electricity cheap? Yeah, electricity is pretty cheap here. You guys are really curious about Las Vegas. And what do Americans have to pay in taxes for crypto game because it hits 50 to 60%? So crypto gains, that's your capital gains. It's taxed roughly 25%. Now you can also write off your losses or kind of like balance those out. So if you made gains, if you made $10,000 in selling a crypto, but you also lost some, you lost $5,000. You can, and it's not quite as cut and simple and dry, but if you made 10,000 but lost 5,000, you can deduct the 5,000 and essentially you lost, if you lost 5,000, you made 10, then you're only paying taxes on 5,000. So a good way of looking at it. And then what else do we got? Anything else here? And any other questions before I get into my rant and ramble? He said, let's see here. Are you going to do a meetup in Miami? I kind of talked about that a little earlier. I'm not planning on it, but I will meet up with anybody that's out there. So if you're going to Miami, DM us on Twitter. And then we have appreciate the content while I mow my lawn. So, I do have a video of my backyard. You know what? Let me find it. I'm gonna email it to myself here. Actually, I'll drop it in my drive. I got my garden. I know I talk about my garden, so let's let me show you that. And it's pretty cool. Like my garden here. So in Vegas, it's super hot. So I've been working on this thing. I've been working on my garden because everything just dies every year. And so it's like this battle where I'm trying to make sure all my plants don't die. And then every year one will live. So then next year I got one more plant. And so it's been about 12 years and now I got about 12 plants, that are doing well. And then I've been working on my little garden. I try to grow a lot of my own food. Obviously I don't have enough food to, I don't have enough food. I grow like herbs and like fruits and stuff. So, it's a nice little treat to like cook with that stuff, but definitely, yeah. Anyways, I'll show you guys my garden here in a moment. He says, what about that garden, B team? Yeah, I'm going to show you guys in a second. I'm just sending this, the video I took yesterday of it. It's like about a minute long. And then, you an F1 fan, if you guys don't know, the Formula One is going to be in Las Vegas this year. And so we're really excited about it because it's going to be on the strip of Las Vegas. So all the Formula One cars are going to be going in between the hotels on Las Vegas Boulevard. And super cool. The straightaway is in front of Caesar's Palace and the Bellagio and the Flamingo. And so that's the straightaway and the finish line. And it's going to be badass. The cost for the hotel rooms are crazy. One hotel room is like 20 grand. 20 grand for a one night stay in just a hotel room that is facing the strip. I think they start at like 25 grand at the Flamingo, which is not exactly the nicest hotel. Just put it that way. It's been there for a while, so it's got some rust on it. I'll just put it that way. But with that said, let me find one here from Robbins. Okay, here we go. And then upload. All right. So we'll take a look at that. So yeah, really excited about Formula One. Super crazy prices. And then I said we need proof of garden in Vegas. Yeah. And then what else do we got? He said, quick question. When you're taking a shower, do you ever watch a bead of water streaming? So kind of strange ass stuff you got going on up in here, bro. I need to read these comments before I put them up on the screen. Now, he says, grow any medicine? No. You know what? So weed is legal in Vegas, and honestly, it's like, why go through the hassle of growing it if you can just go down the street and just buy some legally? And obviously you got to have the whole hydroponics, and it just seems to be quite difficult. So it's just easy to go to the dispensary down here, and kind of a pain in the butt to grow it. Same thing. It's like, hey, do you make your own beer? Well, I could just go to the store and buy some. Now there are people that like making their own beer, and that's like a thing. But when it's readily available, yeah, so it's a little different. And then what else we got? You guys, water is a very hot topic here, apparently. So I don't know. Everyone wants to know about water control, and what do we got here? Too much today, wet lawn in Washington. So yeah, I don't know, man. You guys are on a lawn thing. It must be springtime in the air. And is that what you guys are doing on Sundays? All right. So let me get some music going up in here. And then I'll be going through my rant here in a little bit. So stay tuned for my release and frustration coming soon. And let's take a look. I got my garden photo here somewhere. Download. Where do I download? There he goes. All right, so let's take a peek. Shoot. All right. There. I don't know why this looks so janky. See if I can make it bigger. All right. Anyways, I'm just going to show you this. Like that. right, so I'm just I don't. Sorry, this isn't the cleanest look here, but I'll just kind of show you here. So this is my my herb garden here. So I got some chive there, mint, and some thyme, and some beets, and then some cilantro back there. And then that's my oregano, some sage. I got dill, some peppers over here as well. And then what else? Let's see. You have, these are my citrus trees. I got some lime there. And then I got lemon. You can see I got one lemon still kind of hanging over there as well. And then go over to, that's a grapefruit tree. So this guy, he almost died a couple times. I transplanted him. So he's like 4 years old, but, and then pomegranate there, and then figs, which you can kind of see. I got figs hanging on over there. Those are super good and sweet as well. And then, oh yeah, you saw I do have some strawberries. And then this one is almonds. So I got, these are super cool. The interesting thing with almonds in Vegas is that they'll actually toast on the tree. So you just leave them there and just snack on them at the during the fall and winter. You just crack them open and they're like toasted almonds. It's so hot. And the toast right there in the shell. And then I got rosemary. That's my bay leaf. And then I just planted this guy. He's a pear tree. And so it actually has one pear on there. And so I'm excited about that. And then this is, so I'm also a sommelier, or I'm a wine expert in the wine for restaurants and stuff like that. So anyways, so this is Zinfandel. Zinfandel, in case you didn't know, works very well in hot weather. So out of all of the grapes, the one that can tolerate a lot of heat is Zinfandel. And so for that, I have a Zinfandel plant. And so I get a bunch of that. And this thing just started growing. This is yeah, this thing is something else. And then on the left here, this tree is a cork tree. So this is actually, you can, when it gets bigger, you can peel the bark off of it and make cork for wine as well. And then I got my my grill there on the right, which I didn't get a. So this is my wood fire grill where it's adjustable. So I built that as well. So anyway, so that's a little insight into my garden. Yep. In case y'all are wondering. And yeah, so all right, and then we'll go back and say, where can we find some video of you cooking with Chef Ramsay? Oh, let's see. Actually, I do have a video. I got a video here. Let's see. Let me look up. I got a video on there somewhere. I don't know if I know my log, if I'm logged in or what. Let's see. Here's a there's a video, there's a picture with me and Ramsay there as a chef. And then what else? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know where. I'd have to look at my feed, and this is on Facebook. I never go on this thing anymore. So I am clueless on where this. Yeah, it'd take me a while to find it, but I do got a video cooking with Ramsay. He's like giving me a hard time. It's kind of fun, but anyways, I'll leave it at that. All right, and then what else we got? Toasted almond on the tree. Good to see the green thumb. This takes patience. A-Train says hola. Subbed for the garden. Okay, that's what's up. Thank you, my dude. And then, oh man, my sound effects ain't working. Oh no. What happened to my sound effect? Well, I had sound effects. I was going to do some sound effects, but apparently those aren't working. So I'll leave it at that. All right. And then what else we got? So back into back to get on track here. I'm getting really sidetracked. This is what I do on my show. On the Rant and Ramble is just me all over the place. All right, so you got MicroStrategy increased its BTC holdings for 11 consecutive quarters. And so the company and the man, Michael Saylor, with the Bitcoin DCA for life, never sell. This is just proof that he puts his money where his mouth is. And so MicroStrategy, the business company has co-founded by Michael Saylor, has purchased Bitcoin in each quarter since August of 2020. The largest corporate holder of the primary cryptocurrency, owning 140,000 Bitcoin, bought at an average price of 29,000. And man, this company is going to be worth so much in the future. It's not even going to make sense. Think about it. Bitcoin is at $30,000. Well, not even at 30,000. And I think there's little doubt that Bitcoin will hit $500,000 within the next 10 years. And if it hits $500,000, it's, almost a 20x from where they're at now. And they're going to buy on the whole way up as well. So by the time Bitcoin hits $500,000, I would expect MicroStrategy to have, 300,000 Bitcoin. My curiosity is, will MicroStrategy get to 1 million Bitcoin? Remember, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be out there. It's estimated that roughly a quarter of the Bitcoin is gone and never will be found, but either lost or people passed away. The hard drive got thrown away. The Bitcoin got burned by sending it to the wrong address. And so if you were to take away a quarter of it, let's just say a cool 5 million. So if there's only 16 million Bitcoin that'll ever be out there, and you were to own 1/16 of all the Bitcoin that is essentially in circulation, that's pretty crazy, right? And so I think MicroStrategy will be the Apple. It will be the Tesla. I think it will be the Google of the future, because I think that crypto is going to replace so much of the financial sector. And it's going to be an integral part of all transactions, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, American Express, central banks, international trade, countries, currencies, also blockchains just using smart contracts, NFTs in all forms. We think of NFTs as simply as a picture, but let's not forget, this is going to change and revolutionize the music industry and the video industry. The same way that once CDs came out, we knew that the tapes for videos, those are going to go away eventually. And we started off with these big discs. They were like this big. I don't know if you ever seen them, but that's how videos started on disc. And they were way too expensive and unpractical. But people knew, the savvy people that were plugged into tech, they knew that was going to be the future. They knew that the traditional cassette was on the way out. And that's where we're at now. And traditional finance is going to be replaced by crypto infrastructure. And there's going to be some traditional finance that integrates crypto infrastructure. So that way they kind of play both sides of the field. But slowly but surely, over the course of time, the traditional way of doing things will get phased out. In the same way, I was talking to someone about cable companies, and I was like, you know what? Nobody watches cable, which got me thinking. I was like, you know what? If nobody's watching cable, then these cable companies are making tons of money. Why? Because they're offering high-speed internet. So the cable companies essentially hedged their bet, right? They said, our business model is essentially to make money off of people having the cable subscription and getting all those channels and ESPN and HBO. And then they realized that as people consumed media on the internet, that they were unplugging from the traditional cable service. But where they unplugged from the cable service, they plugged into the high-speed internet. And so the cost of, it is no coincidence, the cost of 1 gig internet is roughly the same cost as a channel subscription without any internet, right? You know, where you have HBO, ESPN, all the channels. You can consume all the traditional types of, media channels that you'd like. And it costs you probably roughly about $100. Your high-speed internet, well, it'll cost you roughly $100. And what you saw there was a traditional company realizing that innovation was going to replace them, and they hedged their bet. They provided that infrastructure, and as one got faded out, the other side of the business model profited. And I think that banks are going to do the same thing. I think that Visa is going to do the same thing. I think that MasterCard is going to do the same thing. And we're seeing this play out in real time. And you're seeing that and that's why I keep going back to DeFi. And when it comes to identifying the projects that you want to have exposure to, you want to have exposure to DeFi. Because this whole, and I'm bullish on NFTs, I'm bullish on gaming, I'm bullish on metaverse, I'm bullish on all of it. But don't forget why crypto was created. It's very simple. It's cheaper, faster, and easier to send money, and you can custody yourself if you don't trust other people. It's the future. And these companies know it. And when you're identifying what sectors you want to be diversified into, it is 100% DeFi. It's why Bitcoin was created. Peer-to-peer, decentralized network. That's it. That's what the future is. And it's gonna be the best performing asset over time. If I were to say to you, hey, it is 2007. You can invest in Apple now, or you can invest in a small little tech project. And let's say the small tech project outperforms Apple that year, or maybe in the next 2 years, because Apple has had a slow growth over time. And you could easily look at somebody else. You're going to be investing in Apple, and it could be boring. And your buddy could be over there like, yo, man, on this internetx.com, I put in 1,000 and now I got 100,000. And you could be like, wow, man, I'm missing out. But don't forget what drives that industry. It's an internet-based industry. Where does the most money in the internet, right? It's in shopping. It's in finance. And so for us in social media, and so you identify what is the biggest money maker, or what is the biggest use case when it comes to the internet, and pile in on those projects. And the same thing goes for crypto, man. Is what is it going to change in the future? What is it going to revolutionize? It's going to revolutionize finance. There are other use cases, sure, great, awesome. Not saying you can't make money, but if you want to have long-term success, identify the DeFi. And that doesn't mean just stick with Bitcoin. No. There's so much DeFi. There's so much. Let's take a quick look at the DeFi projects here. So we can just go down the list. You can argue that Ethereum is DeFi. They are the layer one that has most of the DeFi projects on there. You got your Uniswap, your Aave, and other things that work on Ethereum, and XRP. Great. This is all about. This is like quote unquote the banker's coin. This is supposed to be just for finance. So anything DeFi and finance you want to have exposure to. Going down the list, you have Avalanche is kind of hedging its bet in the CBDC market. They have a good amount of exposure to CBDC in foreign nations. And there's some islands that they offer CBDCs for right now. Going down the list, you got Uniswap. I think this is undervalued for what it's going to be in the future. I think obviously Uniswap is the number one go-to DeFi swap. And then Stellar Lumens. This is something outside of the top 20 that is going to be a major part in finance when it comes to crypto. Going down the list, you have, let's see here, Phantom. This is supposed to be the biggest layer one DeFi. Like, this is the reason Phantom was created, it was essentially to foster more DeFi projects. Founded by Andre Cronje, which is the godfather of DeFi, as they call him as well. So, or helped found, or he was one of the founding team members. He didn't start it, but you have Aave here. So, I mean, look at this. Aave has less of a market cap than Pepe right now. Let's put that in perspective. It's roughly outside, or it's almost outside the top 50. And so the potential for this thing to pop off is crazy, man. And taking a look at the all-time chart, Aave was at $620, so about a 10x away from its all-time highs. I think this is Aave is probably a no-brainer here. So something, if you're putting together a portfolio of DeFi projects, Aave is a must-have. And then Stacks is well, that's smart contracts Bitcoin, but yeah. And then you go down the network, you got, there's a bunch here as well. Curve down. Let's see what else we got. The Injective. There's a bunch of things that have some exposure to DeFi as well. And then you can go outside if you want some bigger plays. You're gonna have some other plays in here. You got Anchor. They got a lot of DeFi as well. And so if you want some Yearn Finance, this is way out. So like this right here, this might be one of the best performing altcoins in the next bull market. You can see this was at $80,000 for one, currently at 7,000. So roughly a 10x away as well. But this 10x, this market cap is still very far away from the other top projects as well. So and then let's see here, what else we got? Yeah, so that's what I would do. Even you got Sushi Swap down here at 136. It's gotten some bad press with some of their hacks, but I think Sushi Swap might be a huge play as well. And then IoTeX, Internet of Things, has some exposure to Moonbeam will be a really good one as well. This also has DeFi exposure. Cadena, that's a layer one, but I don't know. So, anyways, that's what I'm most bullish on. People always ask me, what am I investing in? You know what? I'm not trying to find the next meme coin. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just slowly expanding my positions into the DeFi altcoins. And it says, like I said, when I opened this up, 100x is my average return that I'm looking for. So every $1,000, I want 100 grand. And yeah, it's not all about the money. It's about the technology. But at the same time, the technology is DeFi. That's what crypto's built for. And that's what I got exposure for. So let's take another look at the chat here. And let's see what we got. Rob says he's waiting for that summer of AI and file storage coins. Min swap on Cardano. ADA will do well. I think ADA will be the top performing asset out of the top 10. Don't know who you're saying. Smart guy. Maybe Andre Cronje. More GRT. And if you got anything you want to add, let me know. Fat Smack says, hola, hola. Yeah. So another narrative is find the next meme coin. Keep your eye on the prize, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eye on the prize. All right. So that said, I want to kind of shift this narrative, and I want to talk about a personal motivation and growth. And before I get into that, all right. So, why do we talk about personal growth? My quick disclaimer is that if you are responsible in your personal life, you're responsible with your finances, you're more than likely to be responsible when it comes to your investments as well. Because I don't care who you are, if your bank account is negative, if you live paycheck to paycheck, and whenever you get a little bit extra cash, you're burning it at the bar, and you just are a hot mess, and your credit is jacked, and you're simply looking at crypto to try to make a quick buck, you're gonna lose long term. Like you might swing for the fences and hit something, but you're gonna come crashing back down. And one, you need to cover your own expenses. You need to be savvy and have your lifestyle maintained. You need to, have shelter and transportation and money to eat and gas, of course. And then you got to make sure you got that covered. And then whatever else would be dispensable income. And then we just got to kind of try to bring back in what we're out of balance. So if we're bringing in, if you make 80,000, but yet you're spending 65,000 on bills and just bills alone, you should evaluate where you're spending money at, see where you can make cuts, and then from there you can increase your dispensable income. Why do I say this? Because, well, you can only invest what you have, and if you try to invest what you haven't, what you really don't have, you're going to end up having to sell. So I know a lot of us have been in this position where you invest, say, you throw $3,000 into something, and then all of a sudden, you got sick or car breaks down or whatever it is, or somebody needs money, and you sell your crypto, and at that point, it's you're risking it. Hey, is the entry point, am I selling at a loss because I have to? At the end of the day, you should only be investing what you're willing not to touch. I know everyone always says what you're willing to lose. Well, I don't want to lose anything. I mean, I guess that's the right mentality, but I think more the mentality for me is I don't want to invest something I'm willing to lose. I don't want anything to go to zero. I'm not willing to accept that. And I understand that it is a gross reality, but most of the time, 99.9% of the time, everything you invest in, it's just usually you got in at the wrong time, or you sold at the wrong time, or you bought at the wrong time. It's usually just a timing thing. And if you just kind of wait for the market to be in the right spot to get exposure, then you're in the right spot. And well, we're in the middle of a bear market, right? And so we're probably not gonna hit all-time highs on Bitcoin until 2024 at some point later in the year. So you got the next 7 months to buy crypto. And so for the next 7 months, any extra dispensable income that you can set aside that you're okay not touching for 2 years, let's say, and if you can increase that amount of capital to have more ammunition, well, now is the time. Remember, it's a timing thing. You want to time the market. You want to get into your projects when they're cheap and sell when they're high. Well, newsflash, everything is cheap. Everything. Bitcoin is cheap. Ethereum is cheap. Let me remind you. Ethereum, all time, $4,500. It is 70% off. Ethereum is 70% off. Just think of it that way. Will Ethereum cross its all-time high ever again? Will we ever see a $4,700 Ethereum? Yes, we will. So right now you get Ethereum for 70% off. Can you say the same thing when it's $7,000 or $10,000? No, you can't. At least not in that 2-year time horizon. And so right now you want to get as much exposure as you can to these cryptos. And this whole, well, I only have stop it. You want to make some money? You want to have a bomb-ass portfolio? You want to be a millionaire? Make it happen. It's simple. You want to lose weight? You know what you got to do. You gotta burn them calories and you gotta consume less calories. Very simple. You just gotta stay at it and you gotta do what you gotta do what's not easy, right? You gotta wake up early, you gotta go running before work. You gotta instead of going out with the homies, you gotta go to the gym. That's what it takes. Hey, I wanna become a doctor. Okay, what do you got to do that? You got to put in the work. You got to go to college. You got to study. You got to get good grades. You got to pass. You got to do what's not fun, right? Same thing with crypto. It's no different. This is life. And so if you want to have a bomb-ass portfolio, you want to make a lot of money, you want to be a millionaire, well, it's pretty damn simple. You got to have some more money to invest. You need some more ammunition. You need some more bullets. And you got to be able to not touch it for 2 years. DCA in when it's low, you DCA out when it's high. Right now it's low. And so if you're investing $100, make it $1,000 every 2 weeks or every month. And you say, well, how am I supposed to do that? Well, hey, it's very easy. The amount of dispensable income increases exponentially, almost to a factor of 100%. If you have another source of income that you're not expecting. So if your primary job, you make $50,000, let's just say $35,000 goes to bills, $15,000 is kind of play money. You got food and dining here and whatever else, weird costs. And then at the end of the year, you got $3,000 you can invest. Well, if you get a second job, that second job, none of that income, none of that money, or say second profession where you could make some art and sell it. You can go drive Uber. It doesn't even have to be full time, but some other second source of revenue coming in. All of that, 100% of it is 100% investable, right? Because if your job that makes $50K, if that pays the bills, then your second job, even if it's $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and right now McDonald's is paying $16 an hour. So let's just say you go get a $20 an hour job, which I think most of us can get. You get a $20 an hour job, you work 10 hours, well, you just made $200. You multiply that by 10 days. So 10 days, you made $2,000. 15 days. So let's just say you worked a second job, $20 an hour, 10 hours a day. Let's just say in the course of an entire year, 15 days. That means you work like 1.2 days every month on a second job. Let's just say hypothetically you're running a garage sale. You've now made $3,000 a year in investable income that doesn't have to go into to paying bills. So you now just matched all the investable income from your $50,000 job. So if you made $50,000 a year, you had roughly $3,000 you can invest. You worked 1.2 days a month, and now you've matched the $3,000. Now imagine this. Imagine if you worked just Saturdays. Let's just say, hey, I'm going to get a job working Saturdays, wherever. You pick a job. And Saturdays, 4 days a week. Let's just throw the 8 hours on there. 4 days a week, $20 an hour. And so you're at $160 a day. And so 320, 640. So every month you make $640. You multiply that by 10. That's 6,400. Then you add another 600. You made $7,000. So working a job just on Saturdays, on one of your 2 days off, you've now made $7,000 in 1 year. Now, as I mentioned, we're in a bear market. I am going to get 100x return on every $1,000. And so if I have 7,000 from my side job plus the 3,000 from my 50K job. So now this is a hypothetical. I make $50,000 a year, which is bare minimum, like average American income, like pretty run-of-the-mill job, no college education needed, $50,000 job a year, plus a little side gig. I work on Saturdays. I make $7,000 in investable on the side job, $3,000 from the full-time job. I now have 10 grand to invest in crypto in 1 year. I'm investing across my portfolio. 100x is reasonable. I just took 10 grand and, well, I made $1 million. You want to be a millionaire? It's simple. It is damn simple. You want to make $1 million? Buy some crypto, diversify your portfolio. Don't mess with the meme coins. Go into DeFi, buy it while it's cheap. $1,000 when you can, and then you can turn 10,000 into $1 million. And even if you fall short, let's say hypothetically you invested in the wrong projects, you had some rug pulls. Okay, what's the worst that could happen? You get $400,000. You lost big on some projects. You got 400 grand. And 400 grand in 2 years, pretty damn good for working a Saturday, right? Even if you made $100,000 a year, think about this. You made $100,000 a year. That's a pretty good salary, right? Might not be the best, but we can all agree that 100,000 you can live a comfortable lifestyle, probably having a decent car. And so at $100,000 a year, you're living good, right? Might not be the best life, but you're living pretty good. In the conservative, hey, I invested crappy. I worked on a Saturday and I made $400,000 because instead of getting that 100x, I invested in some stupid projects and I only made a 40x and I made $400,000. That is 4 years of busting ass. 4 years of busting ass at a $100,000 job. You just made all of that by working that Saturday. And so put that in perspective. If you guys don't agree, let me know. If you think I'm talking crazy, let me know. Let me know. And then, obviously you got side work, but you can also increase your personal. You can increase your personal salary. I don't care what profession you're in, you can make more money, right? If you're a painter, you can go get a job at another company that pays more, that has more business. If you are a teacher, you can find another school district that pays more money, or another or maybe a private industry, whatever it is. And most of the time what's stopping us is just ourselves. And everyone always wants to live on excuses. You say, well, I don't have the college education. I don't have the education. Go get it. Well, I don't know this. It's not my struggle. Go learn it. It's simple. And something that gets lost on us at its most core and basic way. And a lot of times people don't want to go out and get a goal or whatever. You know, I can sit here and say like, oh, look, man, get goal oriented, find out what you want to do in life, and then just go after it hard, bust ass, like don't give up, just keep going at it. But I found out, because a lot of people are trying to like talk to them, like, what are you doing, man? Let's go, man. Like you've been doing the same damn thing forever, man. Like it's time to wake up. Like you want to do this hourly position forever? Like you were born and you went to school and you got excited about like growing up and learning, and so that way you could clock in and clock out and make $24 an hour or make $70,000 a year and live paycheck to paycheck for what? Like you're better than that. Like, but the response I kept getting, what I kept hearing back was, well, I don't really know what I want to do. Well, first of all, let me tell you something. Once you get hungry and you start being ultra productive, things just start coming to you. Things just start happening. And if you're lazy, complacent, and comfortable, nothing will spark. You'll just melt away into the couch. You'll just struggle to be motivated. You'll be dreading going into work on their Mondays. You'll be looking forward to that vacation. And when the vacation is over, that 1 week vacation or the 2 week vacation you get a year, once that is over, you're like, oh, I don't want to go back to work. Man, what do you mean? I don't even want a vacation. I don't want to. I don't want to leave the grind. I don't want to take a day off because I am moving. And for me, like, that is exciting. And so if you don't have an aim or a goal just yet, then I say to you, just bust ass at your job. Bust ass in life. Because that'll never fail you. You don't need a damn goal to get some major success from working your ass, working harder than everybody else, and shit will happen. Doors will open. Like, it's not even a question. Like, whatever the hell you're doing, maximize. And bosses will notice, opportunities will come knocking, things that you didn't know you were good at will pop up, and that's what you should aim for. Being the most productive and efficient version of yourself. And if you're not happy with something, we'll change it. That's it. And if you're looking for a goal, and as you do this, goals will start popping up. And I would just say this, that like, try to do what comes easy and natural. Try to stick with things that you enjoy doing and see if you can make a living off of it. If you like working with your hands, there's tons of professions in that. If you're artistic, there's tons of professions with that. People say, well, I'm artistic, but there's no money in painting. Well, hey, there's a lot more forms of art than just that. And so I encourage you to go out and do something. Encourage you to go out there and change some stuff. That's it, man. I don't have too long of a rant today, so I'll leave it at that. I'll just say that do great things. Don't be ordinary, be extraordinary. And that anything that you've seen anybody else achieve, they've simply done because they put in the time and the work. And if there's a profession or industry you want to get into, well, life's too short to say, well, just go do it. And so what if it doesn't work out? There's a handful of positions, tons of different things that I got into that, well, it didn't work out. I thought it sounded cool, and not really for me. Nothing wrong with that. And if anything, it's humbling, and it's an experience. And for every profession that you go into, every industry that you dabble in, or every job that you take that doesn't work out, ends up you end up learning from it. You take something away from it, and you gain more connections. And it's always a net positive. But what isn't a net positive is working the same job that you're not happy at. The same people that share the same resentment as you do. And that is depressing. And when people come up to me and they start complaining, and they're like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh man, I had such a bad day, this, that. I'm like, stop! Stop! Get that shit away from me, man. Like, that is poison. Like, this negative stuff, like, you gotta stop. If you're complaining, stop. Do one day where you don't complain or something. That just sucks the life out of you. It not only sucks the life out of you, it sucks the life out of everyone around you. It is more contagious than a yawn. It is more contagious than COVID. Like, the negative personality, it is brutal. Here's an example. 5 people sitting in a room, laughing, hysterically, having a great time. Just say they're all laughing, telling jokes, having a time of their life. In walks in one person, and that person is crying. What happens to the 5 people in the room? They all stop laughing. They all stop telling stories. And they all look at the person that's crying. And I'm not saying it's not justified. I'm just saying that as an example, with misery, it spreads. And so everyone stops laughing, stop crying. Then the mood changes. And everyone is looking at the person, trying to console them and say, well, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And it could be the same ex-boyfriend or the same ex-girlfriend that this person's had over and over again, hasn't learned their lesson. And once again, they got crushed. And then once again, they're here crying. And now they've just affected everybody. And everybody's mood is done. And even that person leaves the room and says, sorry, I didn't mean to do this. They leave the room. What happens to the 5 people? They're still sitting there, not in the same mood as they were before. That energy just got sapped from them. That energy just got robbed. And that is the situation. That's what happens when you get complainers, man. And so I had 2 things that changed in my life that have worked out very well. One, started being honest and not caring about what other people said. And so for me, I used to try to portray somebody I'm not. I tried to live a lifestyle that wasn't me, outside of my means, and buying things I couldn't afford. And I tried to be more macho or, more masculine than I was. And I was trying to, I had this character that I wore when I was around certain people. And then when I got home, it all came off. And then that person that was there, that was me. And then when I said, fuck that, I don't care what you think about me, everything that I was trying to accomplish when I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, all of the reward I was trying to gain, I gained by being honest. So I got people's respect. I made more money. I was more successful. The relationships were more meaningful. The friendships were more realistic. When I didn't care what other people thought, and I just wore myself on the sleeve, and I was who I was. So that was number 1. And then number 2 is I stopped complaining. And I started thinking about what is good about everything that I did. So instead of looking at the negatives and like, oh man, this happened, why is this? No, I said every time something happened, I said, why is this a good thing? What about this that knocked me off course? What am I going to learn from this? What lesson am I going to learn from this? And so that's what I took away. That's what I've done in my life, and it has worked wonders for me. So I'm not the hardest worker as far as like, just knocking stuff out. Hard to stay motivated myself. I put things down on paper, but the thing that did wonders for me was being honest and not caring what the outside world thought of me, and also not complaining and being happy for what I had. And all the little setbacks that I ran into, I looked at those as learning opportunities, and what I took, what benefits I got from that experience. And then tried to work as hard as possible. Like I said, I'm not the hardest worker out there, but I put in my time. You're not going to be as invested as me. I like to say that I might not grind as many minutes of the day and be as efficient as, the most efficient person, but I got a motor and I'm not stopping. I wake up early. I got my things planned out. I'm getting things knocked out. I'm a very honest person, honest with myself. I evaluate, and it's worked out damn well for me, man. It's worked out damn well for me. And so hard work, honesty, stop complaining. You do those three things, you Gucci. You do those three things and you set some money aside for crypto. You buy when it's low for the next year. And you're set. We're in the right spot. We're smarter than the rest right now. And so I'll end it with that. We'll take a look at some of the chats here. And, you got Crypto Billy saying, ask grandkids what kind of person their dad or granddad is. And watch their faces and tell you the truth. Kids are pretty honest, yeah. And you have Larry is Rib's mascot. I'm not sure what that means. And then Billy says plus 1,000. Kevin says truth, hard work, dedication, honesty, and meme coins. Here it is. Hey man, I ranted about meme coins earlier. There's a lot of money to be made there. I ain't throwing no shade at being able to make some money in meme coins. But I do want to say that I don't think there's enough narrative out here from the crypto community that this might not be the best thing for us. And money maybe should be going elsewhere, and people should be careful. And it doesn't really bring us any closer to financial inclusion in the traditional finance by messing around in this space. Not like JP Morgan is looking at crypto and like, wow, look what meme coins did. Maybe we should bring, no, if anything, it's setting us back. So, and then Matt says, keep stacking them bags. Rib is the new Rob. I'm not sure what that means. Please explain 100x target you talked about. Are you expecting? So it's for the most part, I think that, so my 100x is DCA in, DCA out. And you buy the bottom of the bear market and then you sell at the top. And you're not going to sell the top and you're not going to buy the bottom. But if you DCA during the bear market and then you DCA out during the bull market, you can get an average of 100x returns. Obviously, you got to play in the space that isn't the top 10. Let's just say Cardano is probably not going to go to $38. Ethereum is not going to go to 190,000. And so that's a given. But for me, I do have my DCA positions on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Cardano. But for me, I am in this area here. Filecoin, for example. Here's an example. So $5. You look at its all-time high was at 170. That's a 30x there to just 150. And if you start diversifying into, and so that's 100. Remember, it's 100 to get back. That's 30x, and that's just the last all-time high. And so, just to get back to all-time highs for these projects, just to get back, here's one that very common. We'll just take Hedera for example. You look at its all-time high; it was 45 cents. So this is you can say a 9x. Let's just keep round numbers here. You can say, hey, to get back to all-time highs, Hedera needs to do a 10x, right? And if it 10x's, it'll get back to all-time highs. But we know that all-time highs are made, new all-time highs are made during the next bull market. And so looking at Ethereum, for example, you go to the all-time chart. And so here, this is the 2018 bull market. And so from all-time high, so if you bought here, let's say you bought Ethereum at $130, right? And you could have got Ethereum under $200 for well over a year. Similar to what I'm saying now, is you buy when the markets are low, you buy Ethereum during $130. You're saying to yourself, all right, if it gets back to all-time highs, I will have a 10x. So 1,300, I can buy it at 1,300. I can buy it at $130. If it gets back to all-time highs, I'll have a 10x. But what happened in the next bull market is that the all-time high wasn't the previous all-time high. The all-time high now was way past that. It's almost 5 times what it was before. And so when you look at these and I say, hey, Hedera, okay, its all-time high is 40, we'll just say 50 cents. Let's say it's a 10x away. And Hedera is going to probably go back to all-time highs. So that's a 10x. But it's going to be 5 to 10x on top of where it was from the last bull market. You can look at Cardano as an example. Cardano, they were around for the market, the last bull market. So you could have bought it here. You know, you could have bought it for 10 cents. Could have bought it for 13 cents. You could have bought it for 8 cents. You could have bought Cardano for 8 cents, right? And then you could have sold it for, you could have said, hey, I can get a 10x from this Cardano. I get a 10x, right? I can buy it for 10 cents. And you could buy for over a year at 10 cents or under. And then if it gets back to all-time highs at $1, it's a 10x. It's a win, right? But then, as I mentioned, you forget that the all-time high always puts in a new all-time high in each bull market. And so if you get a 10x here, you buy it here, you're not getting a 10x. You're getting a 100x. Or in this case, you bought it at 8, say you bought it at 10 cents. Look, it traded under 10 cents, under 5 cents for a big chunk of the year. But even if you bought here and you're like, oh man, I bought Cardano at 9 cents. And then it came crashing down to 3 cents. Oh man, I'm such a dummy. No, just hold the damn thing. You DCA in, you buy across this whole line here. And then you're going to get to all-time highs. If it doesn't rug pull or crash, you'll get back to all-time highs plus some. The game is simple. Just hold your damn tokens for 2 years. Buy in the bear market, sell in the bull market. Win. It's simple. 100x. It's simple. It's a simple game. We're out here trying to trying to get another 10x or 100x on some meme coins and some crap projects. They don't have a long enough time horizon. You don't even have to like Bitcoin hodl for eternity. You're not even saying that. Just have a 2-year plan, 3-year plan. Just chill. Anyway. All right, everybody. I am going to go to the gym. I'm going to go hang out with my bird, Larry. I'm going to go chill. With that said, I'm going to wrap this thing up. So, to all of you that hung out with Big Rob, much appreciated. We got Chris Crypto up in here, News Crypto, Unforgettable, big shout out to Billy, Red Doe Brad, Keek Long. He said, good thinking. Thank you for the explanation. Yeah, of course. A lot of people, a lot of content creators, they seem to like not explain the obvious. They just want to give you what's trending and new and be like this coin and like, don't overthink it. Just buy the solid projects when they're at discount and sell them when they're way overvalued. Easy mentality. Dave Digital's throwing the thinking emoji. Said, I can see Avalanche at $1,000. Possibly. And then Rib was a typo. And then what else we got? Anyways, guys, it was fun chilling with everybody. Big Green Sun says, Olay. Not to be confused with Ola. And Rudy Poo says, time for the triple S. I'll leave it at emojis there. You can figure that out for yourself. And then thanks for the show. God bless. Olas. Olas. Olas are everywhere. All right, well, once again, everyone, it was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to go do some gardening and hang out with my bird. Go to the gym. We'll look at some crypto prices. And without further ado, I will leave you. Have a good day. And I'll see you tomorrow with George. We're all George. Excited to have him on. And coin collector. Oh, coin collector. Hola! I haven't seen you before. Welcome.